Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, look, I didn't actually expect to come on today. I was just doing my thing and I've been getting a bit of stuff come through, which I've written down over the days. But I was, just suddenly like, you need to go on now. So here I am. So I don't know exactly when I'll post this video, but I have a feeling I'm meant to do it today. But anyway, let's open with the karakia and then we can get into these messages. Also, there are a few messages, so I'm going to put timestamps in the description box so that you can just skip to each message to see if it's for you, because I know not everything is going to relate to everybody. Okay, so let's start with our karakia. Creator of our souls, thank you for bringing us together and for protecting and guiding us as we travel our journey throughout this lifetime. We ask for your support as we serve you for the greater good. Please bring to light that which needs healing, the darkness that needs forgiveness within ourselves and therefore others. Bless us with your presence through these messages and help the collective to understand your divinity within. Amen. Okay, so first thing that I was seeing was that there was someone looking for something in the dirt. Okay, now it's like they're on the floor of the ground, like clearing dirt away. It's not like they're digging dirt up, but they're clearing the dirt away. Kind of like, do you know what? It could be like clearing the path, but it's not like that either. That could be relevant for some people, but it's actually just in a small space. And I feel as though some of you, it could, because it's like there's this sense of searching for something. And I'm wondering if some of you may feel like you're looking for something, but you don't know what it is. And it's not that, like, there's the sense of being lost. That might not be quite right. Not necessarily being lost, but just unsure of the direction that you're going in. I feel as though there's, but it's kind of like the clearing of the dirt is quite frantic. It's like, come on, like, where is it? Where is what I am looking for? And so I feel like Spirit are wanting to say to you, just take a moment, take a breath. Because whatever it is that you're searching for is going to, you are going to come across it. There's no way in the world that you're going to miss it at all. Okay? I feel as though there's some of you that are really cleaning up your life. And this could be part of this trying to get the dirt away kind of thing, like, come on, I just want to get this clean. I want to get it cleared so I can move forward. And this could even be a healing process, right? Of, this thing keeps popping up over and over. Like, how often does it need to pop up? I thought I dealt with it. I thought I was done with it. And it just keeps coming up all the time. And I just want to say about that every time it comes up, it's released a little bit more and released a little bit more. I never have experienced one healing session where things have just, especially on an emotional level, things have just been cleared just like that. It is a process. So be patient with yourself in that regard if that's the case. There's, what else have I got here? I'm just reading what I've got. Yeah, I feel like for some of you, there's a bit of confusion as to who you are. It's kind of like you're actually in search of yourself, and you're going, who is that? What does that look like? I know who I am on this level, but who am I really? And there's a sense of instability with that. It's sort of like, I actually, in regards to that, I feel like some of you need to ground yourself, because It's like there's not a solid grounding underneath you. And whether that's metaphorically or actually in the physical, that is something that I feel is quite unstabling for you. And maybe you don't realize that. Maybe part of that is, maybe it is that you travel a lot and you're not really locked in anywhere in particular. And you feel like, oh, this is what I wanted. I wanted to do this traveling and I wanted to go out and do this and that. But in the process, there's been a sense of ungrounding, if you like. So, yeah. And part of that traveling and part of that searching is you searching for who you are, which honestly you're never going to find out there. Who you are is not out there anywhere. It's here. It's in here. Okay, so know that you can find that anywhere. Okay. During this time of seeing the dirt being cleared, and I actually did post a short about this, I saw a gold ring appear. So it could be that some of you are looking for a gold ring or you find a gold ring, but there's no stone in it, although that may not have been visible to me because it was only sort of half the ring that I saw. But for some of you, it might just feel like you're going around and around in circles right now, and things just don't seem clear. I also feel like this could be representative of finding the value in something that seems like it's worthless. Whether that is in your life, in your work, in your family, your relationships, whatever. Finding the value in everything. And I don't mean material things necessarily, although it could be, but I feel that this is more metaphorical for the value in your life, and whatever it is that maybe is giving you a little bit of feeling of dis-ease right now, that it's not how you would like it to be. Yeah. There's, I want to say on that there's actually a treasure in everything, even the bad things that go on. Like there's something to be learned. There's something that you can actually take from it, which it can be really difficult to hear when you're going through something, and I completely get that. But just look for those things. Keep that in the back of your mind, that there are things to learn in every situation, in every circumstance. And what is it that you can learn? Because I think we all have a tendency to project, and we have a tendency to blame and point the finger. And it's really about us at the end of the day. Everything that goes on in our lives needs to come back to us. And what do we need to learn from it? How do we grow? And I feel like that is quite crucial, especially throughout this coming year. It's a massive year of truth. At least that's what I sense. And it's us arriving at the truth of everything. Absolutely everything. It's this uncovering, if you like. So, yeah, the other thing in relation to the ring, was what the short was about actually, is that this could be your grandmother's ring for some of you. She has passed. I don't know if the ring is lost or she's just using that as a representation of her being here. But I was seeing a lady with short curly hair, grey-black hair, with glasses, big glasses, and she's just blowing you a kiss. And a beautiful, beautiful, big, warm smile as well. And then there was a joke about adult nappies, diapers, that's in the family, or it might have just been with her and you. And but this actually feels like a different energy, although it could be related to the other one, so take it as you will. I didn't get, with the different energy, I didn't get a description of that person, but the joke about the nappies was very, that was all that was needed. So yeah, and honestly, she's just letting you know that she's there, and yeah, sending you lots of love. So call on her as well. I got that actually through on the 23rd of January, so that date also might be significant for some of you. Okay, so last time in the video, I was talking about the driving with looking in the rear view mirror at the darkness. And while that came through, there was something about sunglasses, that someone was driving with sunglasses on. And I got some information about that, but I said, "Oh, I'll come back to that," and then I never came back to it. So I'm here coming back to it now. It wasn't meant to be that video. It was meant to be now. So going into that vision of seeing the darkness behind someone wearing sunglasses, and I was like, "That's weird. Why would you be wearing sunglasses at night? While you're driving?" But I feel like there's a few things that come up with this actually. And the first thing is that whatever has gone on in your life, especially to do with the past, is that try not to see things as dark as what they were. Like, try not to see things as bad as what they truly were. And that's not to minimize anything that has gone on in your life, but it's just making sure that you're looking at them with truth, and that because I feel like for some of you that's actually keeping you held back, and it's making the process of healing and surrendering and letting go harder. And it's also being honest with yourself, because here's the one thing that we can do, and I think we are all absolutely, everyone does this, so it's not just you or the next person. And this is the one thing that I've been adamant about bringing to light for myself lately, is looking at the real truth of things, not how I want to see it. What went on, there's because we can often say, if there's an interaction with someone which isn't pleasant, right, we can often easily point the finger at them, and it's them this and it's them that, and we don't really look at ourselves and go, well, actually I contributed to that. There was all this other stuff going on that may not have even been part of that interaction, but that was in your energy, which maybe caused you to behave in a certain way or react in a certain way. And it's the same with the other person. Probably had a whole lot of stuff going on in their energy which caused them the same, right? So that is something that I think is very important to take accountability for, take responsibility for, and not put everything on to other people that it's them, because we will never, ever, ever be able to grow fully if we are not taking full accountability and responsibility for what it is, the part that we play in situations. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, just like with wearing the sunglasses, be mindful of wearing rose-colored glasses and making the things seem as good as what they are. Even if you kind of go, they're not that great, but you're making out to everybody like it's really great, And so seeing the truth of things and how are things really, and not overlooking things and not sweeping things under the carpet. I'm a great one for that, like, truly. And yeah, so, not dismissing things that are jumping out at you, and you're kind of going, oh no, that's okay, because, there's this and there's that and there's that. And it's like, no. Pay attention to those things. Take those rose-colored glasses off, take the dark sunglasses off, and see things clearly. And be honest with yourself. You know, often we wear those glasses because we don't want to be honest, because we have this idea of how we want things to be. But the truth of the matter is that that's just an idea. And so we kind of build our lives based on an idea rather than the truth and the reality of how things really are. So this is super crucial throughout the year to become aware of how you're doing that. Okay. The other thing with the sunglasses is that going forward, and remember in the what I was seeing was this bright sunny field of, and there's flowers and everything. It could be that the sunglasses are needed because your future is so bright, and so you need the sunnies, right? So that you can actually see. But the other thing with that is that it could be your light that is so bright that it's blinding. Now, this is going to trigger some people. There's going to be some people out there who won't be able to handle that light, and they're going to get blinded by the light, and it's going to jar them. And that is something to be aware of, because sometimes people can come at us with their own projections, their own insecurities, and their own stuff, you know, and project it onto us as though it's ours and try and dump it on us, you know, and it's not. It's not. So I feel like the sunnies are a bit of a guard, actually, in that sense. So obviously you're going to know your situation to know which one applies. But yeah, be discerning as you go throughout this time, and know that if there's things that are coming at you, which, you know, and what I mean by that is I don't mean that anyone who gives you any say constructive criticism or anything, you know, that consider that, like, always look at, okay, can I improve here? Is there something that I need to do differently? So it's not to say, oh, everything everyone says that isn't what you want to hear is wrong and it's all their stuff, because sometimes there is something in what people say to us, you know, even if we don't want to hear it. And often it's more in the delivery of things rather than the actual words. But be discerning with it, you know, let it sieve it out and go, okay, yes, I can take that. Yes, I agree with that. You know, and there might be something that you're not quite ready to face yet, or you're not quite ready to deal with or look at, or you don't want to admit that thing about yourself. So just be mindful of that as well. There was a very, 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 okay, so that's that message, right? So there was a very clear situation that I was shown, and I saw somebody getting a whipping. Okay, it's a young child, and this little child was getting a whipping and was just kind of standing there straight up and just holding their pain and not crying, not screaming, nothing. And after that happened, and they were, you know, getting screamed and yelled at as that was happening, and after that happened, they went somewhere. And it's really interesting because I see something red, and I don't know if it's a red cushion or a red pillow, but this keeps jumping up every time I think about the red pillow or cushion, I think it is, jumps up, or it could be a blanket folded up. But anyway, that could be for somebody. But it's like, then they don't cry because they're not allowed to. They're not actually allowed to, like they'll get ridiculed more if they cry, but they go somewhere afterwards, and it's into a dark space. Now, I'm not sure if it's a wardrobe and hiding in there, but I feel like it's under something. So it could be under a bed or something like that. But it's really, really dark. But I'm seeing the dirt again as well, but I'm wondering if that's just linking into what we had before, that they're in, searching for something, maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. And it could be that for some of you, you're searching for yourself after having lived through, this abusive childhood. And, who am I? Like that, because that shapes people, right? Like it actually changes a child's brain. And so, yeah, that could be something for somebody anyway. But there was when I was getting that, I got a pain on the right side of my head. So it could be that somebody was hit in the side of the head as well. So that could be for somebody too. So yeah. But yeah, the darkness again is like that darkness of seeing in the rear view mirror, right? Of seeing the darkness in the past and going towards a brighter future. So that could be something that some of you are working through and leaving behind in the past. Anyway, okay, so I also have seen, next message is I see a flower blooming. I think it's a lotus flower, pretty sure it is, but I see this blooming and I see sort of the first, it's actually in a box. First off, it's in a box. Oh, wow. Okay, hang on. Let me just go back here, because all I've got written here is a flower blooming, and I've got truth, and that's it. But what I'm seeing with this box is actually the dirt that I was talking about right at the beginning is being cleared off the top of the box. So it's like the box is being found in amongst the dirt, and this is metaphorically, I want to say, or it could actually happen for someone, but anyway, it's been found in the dirt. The dirt has been cleared, the dust has been cleared off the box, and the box has been opened, and this flower that comes out, it kind of reminds me of a what's the flowers you put around the wrist for, like when you go to a ball or whatever. I can't remember, but you know what I mean, right? Anyway, I'm just so, I can't get my words. But this flower is being brought out of the box and it's opening up. So it's kind of like the first layer of petals is opening up, and there's all these other layers to come. And yeah, so I feel like that this is you, right? This first layer is opening up, and so that's super cool. That's super cool. And each petal is represented of one piece of something that you've had to heal. So it's not just like, oh, you're just beginning to open up now. No, there's been a lot of work done here in order for this round of petals to open up. Like these have been the petals that have protected the rest of the petals. They also need healing, but these outside petals have taken the brunt of the worst of everything that has gone on for you. So these petals are able to now expand and open up and be loved, be visible for the next round to start to open up, which is interesting because I usually see healing as an onion type of thing. You hear about it all the time, right? Like peeling away layers of an onion, but this is a different way of seeing it. So that's super interesting. The other thing I was shown was a sword being held, and the sword is facing upright. It reminds me of the Ace of Swords. But this, oh, hang on a minute. Sorry about that. My mama cat came in for a feed, so I had to go and feed her. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, about the sword, right? And so I feel like, again, this is in line with the truth, because that flower opening up is about you revealing your truth, the truth of who you are. And I feel like it's the same with the sword. The sword represents truth. And it's as though in order to unveil the truth, everything that is not true needs to be cut out. It's like walking through a forest and cutting away the debris to make the path so that you can see your way clear, right? And it's really hard to go through to progress with our lives unless we're being honest with ourselves, unless we're honest about what it is that we want, where we want to go, you know, what it is that we want to do in our lives. And so I feel like the sword is about you standing in that, the truth of who you are by cutting away everything that doesn't represent you. Okay? I feel as though there's been some people or some of you who may have, this is interesting, some of you who may have cut things too harshly, I'd say. It's kind of like cutting something and then you realize that you just cut down a really beautiful big tree that you didn't want to get rid of. Does that make sense? So yeah, just be mindful of when you're doing that. Make sure that you suss out completely and utterly what it is that you're cutting down. Okay, but the other thing I was showing was a massive, massive, huge tree that there's nowhere else for it to grow. It's done as much growing as it possibly can, and its growth is over. So I feel like this was representing the ending of a cycle for some of you, and there's as much growing as possible that has been done. And that makes sense with the lotus flower as well, because if you think of that outside layer, that represents a cycle, right? And now it's time for the next cycle to come into play and start to be discovered. So I feel as though that's also quite relevant too. Now, there was something else that I was showing, which was a wreath of leaves. Now, I feel like this is going to go somewhere. Really interesting that it's all about flowers and trees and dirt and everything, but this is all about nature, right? This is about growth, and it's connected. We're all connected to that, yeah. And the wreath of leaves, it's kind of like in the islands they will have headbands of leaves around their head and stuff, and I feel like I can see all the vines interwoven, and there's leaves around that, and I feel as though each and every one of you are one of those leaves, and it's all interwoven. This could actually be a generational or a family message, and there's all this entwining of these vines, and they are, but it keeps going around and around and around. There is no beginning and there is no end, and the leaves keep sprouting and they fall away, and more keep sprouting and they fall away. So this is like this family cycle. Yeah, this is interesting. So there's this ending of a cycle of what I was talking about before. So there are those of you who are here to heal the generational trauma and stop a cycle that has gone on for generations and generations. And that is some tough, tough, tough work. So please be gentle with yourselves, okay? This could also be when I was talking about in one of the messages about how there's a feeling of like you're running around in circles, and this could be what that is about. Okay, so that's interesting. So those messages, I only just got a few words about it, but this is about truth, you know. This is about bringing truth to light and being honest with yourself about truly what happened. And so in that regard, I feel as though there could be some really painful truths in there somewhere. And maybe stuff that you don't necessarily want to look at, but you are the one doing it because you are the one who has the ability and the empathy and the gentleness to be able to do that. And that's not to say it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But you have the gift. You are the gift of the family, is what you are. So, and you know, it was you who the ancestors there supporting to do that. So, yeah, wow, that's pretty big, hey? Okay, right, I want to pull a card. So I have cleared these this time, so let's just have a look at what comes out. Okay, so one card, please, one card. I've got this little kid in here watching me shuffle, like, what the heck is that? I don't think we've seen shuffling go on before. I'm trying to get a card. Ooh, here we go. Cool. Oh, I love this. Look at this adventure. Look at that. Going on an adventure. I love that. This is kind of like, look at all the darkness back here. You know, you can see that someone's coming out of the dark and into this bright light, right? Of what we were talking about before, of heading into the light. And it's kind of like a new discovery. And you know, maybe that's part of it, is treating it like, you know, you're a little kid who's going on a new adventure and making a new discovery. But let's have a look at what this is about. Adventure number 78. Okay, 78. Okay, so the commentary about the card: when we are truly in a spirit of adventure, we are moving just like this child, full of trust, out of the darkness of the forest into the rainbow of light. Yes, love it. We go step by step, drawn by our sense of wonder into the unknown. Adventure really has nothing to do with plans and maps and programs and organisation. The page of rainbows represents a quality that can come to us anywhere, at home or in the office, in the wilderness or the city, in a creative project or in our relationships with others. Whenever we move into the new and unknown with the trusting spirit of a child, innocent and open and vulnerable, even the smallest things of life can become the greatest adventure. I love that. I just had to go and let that little kitty out. Okay, so the meaning of the card. Zen says truth has nothing to do with authority. Truth, I love that this is truth after that coming up. Anyway, truth has nothing to do with tradition. Truth has nothing to do with the past. Truth is a radical, personal realization. You have to come to it. Knowledge is certain. The search for personal knowledge is very, very hazardous. Nobody can guarantee it. If you ask me if I can guarantee anything, I say I cannot guarantee you anything. I can only guarantee danger. That much is certain. I can only guarantee you a long adventure with every possibility of going astray and never reaching the goal. But one thing is certain: the very search will help you grow. I can guarantee only growth. Danger will be there, sacrifice will be there. You will be moving every day into the unknown, into the uncharted, and there will be no map to follow, no guide to follow. Yes, there are millions of dangers, and you can go astray and you can get lost. But that is the only way one grows. Insecurity is the only way to grow. To face danger is the only way to grow. To accept the challenge of the unknown is the only way to grow. Wow. Wowee, isn't that so cool? And because I was thinking during that too, you know, I think there's a real what's the word? Not mistake, but we can tend to go, I'll just see, you know, the positive side of things, and just see like the adventure as something really good, right? And it's so easy to kind of do that and not see that there is danger there, and there, you know, and this is the truth of it, right? Like someone could look at that and go, oh, that's so negative, but it's the truth, right? Every time we step out our door, we step out, we don't know what's going to happen, right? Every time the cavemen stepped out of their cave, they didn't know if a bear was going to come and gobble them up. They don't know, you know, and so it's really about being honest. This is what I was talking about, the honesty of things. This is the truth. There is danger everywhere. Does that mean that we live in fear? Absolutely not. Of course we don't. But we see the adventure of the growth that we can achieve. And what is that going to look like? And where will we go next? And how is that going to pan out? And who will we travel with? You know, so it's all those sorts of things that I think is part of it. So, you know, mindset obviously does have a big part to do with it, but it's also about the truth of it as well. So yeah, that is an absolutely brilliant card for everything that has come up today. So I love that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you. I'll definitely see you on the 30th, unless I see you before. Otherwise, take care of your beautiful selves. See you. Bye-bye.